Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta see this crazy shit. These motherfuckers are inside the house of the terrorist. The media is all up in the house. CNN is freaking the fuck out because there's like 50 media people inside this fucking house.
I guess at some point, though, police do release, feel they've gotten everything they need out of place and then give it back to the owner, correct? I mean, because I was outside the apartment yesterday, and they were clearly still going over the apartment, going through. I assume they feel they got everything they wanted.
Well, you would assume that, but let me tell you something. I agree with Harry on this. This is really hard to watch. And I've been in law enforcement a very, very long time. And I remember being an investigator back in Dade County, Florida.
They ain't checked for fingerprints. There's no dust on the wall, no black dust, no black dust on the furniture, no nothing, no on the oven. Look at that, no black dust anywhere for fingerprints.
This is a major scene.
This shit is so fake. I'm saying it now. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. If they did kill people, so be it. But you could tell they're going a little too far to push a point. We have never seen the inside of Killer's house a day or 2 days after the attack.
That you may have missed, or you may learn information from. So I would hope that law enforcement there had made a decision that they needed nothing else from this crime scene.
Right.
But what is still very troubling here is that this is very early and still in this investigation.
Yeah, let me bring in Anthony May, formerly with the ATF. Anthony, what do you make of this?
Well, Anderson, the big question I have right now is this. The seizure documents, are they from the Department of Justice, FBI, or are they San Bernardino County?
Guys, you're getting exclusive footage from inside the terrorist house.
The crime scene will be gone through, and as the reporter was talking about all the documents laid out on the bed, all those documents have been gone through. Every nook and cranny of that house has been gone through to include the crawl space. They've looked at everything. They've listed everything on the seizure documents. Now, the very last thing on the federal side that we do is we will photograph the residence. A photograph will be taken prior to the search and after the search to document any damage that had occurred. And then we will post the seizure documents as we leave. Once those seizure documents are posted, that crime scene is over. It's no longer ours.
So from your standpoint, it doesn't. You're assuming, and I mean, I think probably rightfully so, because they have now been there for quite some time, that they have gone over every inch and no longer need anything out of this apartment. Otherwise, they would not have told the landlord it was okay to go back.
That's correct, Anderson. They had at least, I believe, about 24 hours in this residence. This is a small house. It's not that large, and of course their concentration was probably in the garage. But as you saw in the scene earlier, there was a law enforcement officer that walked up and just kind of looked and simply walked away. Had this not been a released scene, there would have been a larger police presence. There would have been an FBI presence if it was the FBI scene, and that's why I'm asking if somebody could look at those seizure documents and just say, what agency posted those documents. I'm suspecting it's probably the FBI. Then
guys, and ladies, just wait till you see how many fucking media people are in this place.
And it's a released scene. It's typical procedure.
It's just like
we'll ask Mr.
unreal
to look at those documents and get that information. We want to take a quick break. Our coverage continues in a moment.
I found
do what they're doing. But on the Trump point, even though some of his solutions seem
The idea that every mosque is a harbor for terrorist recruitment, I don't think is true.
Chuck Todd, where do we go politically? The president has been accused of not being tough enough, of avoiding the phrase Islamic terrorism. He, following what George W. Bush did, trying to avoid the kind of broad brush demonization of Muslims, which will only fuel more people to become potentially radicalized. Hillary Clinton has said, yes, it was a terror attack, but we also have to do other things. We have to do gun laws, which 3 amendments lost on the Senate floor yesterday, including what some people thought were reasonable changes, background checks for people on the terror list. If you're on the no-fly list, you should not be able to buy a gun.
Look, it starts with, I think, look, the president needs to fill this vacuum because the candidates will fill it, and political campaigns, by their nature, can go rhetorically overboard. Even with those with the best of intentions can get over their skis a little bit. The president's got to fill this vacuum. The president's got to be the ones to channel the anxiety and the fear that's out there, explain it, be equally tough and compassionate to the Muslim American community. But listen, look, if he doesn't do it, there's a vacuum, and it may get filled.
They're taking the front door off
that some people may not like. So. Look, I think it's important that whoever the president is at the time is the one that needs to fill this vacuum, and this is I think the test for President Obama here. Again, I go back to what the country is feeling. Okay, you see this. It's the fact that you don't want to sit here and connect dots, but the fact that they broke the background checks in a single day on Black Friday for gun ownership, that is yet another sign. There is an anxiety among some Americans, an insecurity among some Americans, a nervousness among some Americans. Those of us that are parents have kids that are asking us a lot about what happened in Paris and what happened here. They're of age that they're watching this stuff. Again, I think that's. If you would ask me what's missing here, I think that's what's missing, and I think that's what the. If the president is concerned about the rhetoric that's happening on the campaign trail, don't lecture it. Don't turn it into a political debate. Fill it.
And Gabe Gutierrez is outside the hospital there, where you still have injured victims of this attack. What are people out there saying about the climate of fear that some are...
that we're not scared and we're tired of your fucking bullshit. That's what we're saying.
Flu symptoms started within the last 2 days before taking Tamiflu.
All over the community last night.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Andrea. Last night, a very moving prayer vigil here in San Bernardino. We're actually outside Loma Linda Hospital, where there are several patients still being treated, 4 patients being treated right now, 2 in critical condition.